All right, clearly, I've been living under a rock because I this absolutely flew under my radar. I actually did not know about this, and I should be ashamed because I actually do live in the UK, and it is about loot boxes and stuff like that. Gaming, which I do, I game a lot, so this should be in the forefront. But no, no. And to be fair, the news companies are talking about companies like the BBC, which I really do not read, I really don't watch, I really don't care about. I find them atrocious, but it is what it is. So the big things going on, and that is Lords call for immediate gambling regulation, for loot boxes. And this is a big deal. So the House of Lords gambling committee says video game loot boxes should be regulated under gambling laws. And it seems like there's now a big push for it. Because before it was more like, because ever since Battlefront happened, and a huge fallout that happened afterwards, because obviously EA started that shitstorm, obviously, because it has to be, it's EA, and now we're in this position. And before I actually didn't, it's not like I didn't care, but I wasn't invested as much because not companies, governments from all over the world, they had this lukewarm feeling to it. So they were going for it, then they stopped. They were going for it, then they stopped. They were going for it, then you don't hear anything about it. So it's like, okay, so whatever. But now this recent thing that's happening, and now they're saying this immediate thing that needs to be done. Is it gonna happen? I don't know. Should it happen? Now that's the question, isn't it? Because I mean, look, let's get this out of the way. Obviously, this loot box thing, gambling thing, where people pay real money for fake things. Uh, Obviously, is aimed at kids most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time is aimed at kids. And you could, I guess you could. I don't want to downplay that. It's not like I don't want to downplay that. It's just I don't think people are honest with themselves when they say stuff like that. When people say loot boxes only majority of time hit kids, maybe that's true. Maybe that is true. I don't have the facts on my side, but at the same time, it's like it's one of those things where it's like, come on, guys, we all know the truth, and the truth is the people who pay for these loot boxes, the people who who are given the okay with this business practice are adults. Like the people who play Fortnite, or I saw Call of Duty do the same thing, and Destiny and stuff, and Battlefront. The gamers who keep giving them money to this practice, I feel like again, I don't have the facts on my side, but it's a gut feeling that I have. Is mostly adults. It's mostly adults, and it's one of those things where it's like, yes, the practice is bad, but when are we gonna take the mirror and reflect on ourselves as gamers? Because deep down we all knew it was bad. We all knew what they were doing, obviously, and at the same time, it's like, what was the argument? What was the argument? I remember the argument was, look, I hate as much as next person, but people should be allowed to spend what they want. It's stuff like, arguments going around that kind of way. So people weren't attacking loot boxes. They were like this, hey, it's bad, but I don't want to force people to tell people how they should spend them. Or even people who are defenders. Like, I remember Destiny tried to do the same thing, and I remember the fan base was like, don't you guys know what capitalism is? And stuff like that, where it's just like, look, you guys can spend your money the way you want, but I want to spend money the way that I want. And that is true in a sense, but at the same time, you are feeding into this bad practices. You are feeding into this idea. You're giving this idea to these companies like, yes, it's okay for you guys to take advantage of us. It's fine. And it's like, yeah, everyone takes the piss out of EA, and people actually put the foot down with Battlefront. But at the same time, the other games that come after it, you see people just giving into loot box. It was at what point? What the argument I'm trying to make is, my guess is that when are we as gamers in this gaming community have to look at ourselves and be like, yes, we're part of the problem? No, but the companies like EA or 2K Games, if I remember right, the EA Sports, I forgot which game it was, but there was literally a slot machine in one of the games. I swear there was literally, they weren't even hiding it anymore. I'm pretty sure it was EA Sports. It's probably EA Sports or one of Take-Two games, but it was it was in your face. It was like, oh wow, these guys are not hiding at all. So it's like, that's one aspect, and the second one is I am very nervous because I look, if it was me, I would be fine with them placing this new regulation on games that are not for adults. So if it's like for kids games like Fortnite or stuff like that, then boom, put that in. No loot boxes, stuff like that, microtransactions or stuff like that. That's seen as gambling, then fine, just put that for kids. But all the adult games, then yeah, it's fine because it's an adult game. That's how I see it. And then look, I could be wrong, but the way I see it right now, I think that's a fair system. Again, I could be wrong, but as it stands right now, I think that's a fair system. But the thing is, the reason why I'm nervous about this is that I'm afraid that this may give the government the foothold it needs to regulate everything else in gaming. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the saying, you give them an inch, they take a mile. I'm afraid that this is like a foothold for the government. Okay, we're regulating gambling, boom, in video games. All right, boom. But then they'll turn somewhere else and be like, okay, we don't like this, and then boom. Okay, we don't like this, boom. We don't like this, boom. It you know what I mean? It creates this never-ending cycle. Because we've seen this a lot. How many times have we seen governments trying to like intervene with people's lives, with people's hobbies, and it's just like, oh wow, this is some scary shit. So it's like, I don't know, dude. I really don't know, and it's very it's very confusing time, honestly. Cause I really don't. Cause I'm for this, but at the same time I'm scared of it. Cause it's like, I don't know. Maybe because I really wish that us as a gaming community could handle our own problems, but let's be honest, clearly we can't. Clearly we can't. So it's just like, we'll see what happens. But honestly, I feel that the majority of the gaming community are happy with this. But honestly, I have a really, really bad feeling about this. And this is coming from a guy who absolutely hates loot boxes, how it is now. I don't mind cosmetics. Okay, fine. But if it's even then, even with cosmetics, it's like, jeez. Real game, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I just have a really bad feeling about it.